Howdy folks, Grumpy Foot here. I just want to run down on a case gauge. That's what this tool here is. This is made by Lyman. It's for handgun ammunition. And this one tool covers from 380 auto all the way up to 45 ACP. And what that's for is, as you're sizing your brass, or as you size your brass as you're loading your ammo, when you get a finished cartridge, you want to use this gauge, especially if you're using, semi-auto pistols, rifles, things of that nature, to make sure it'll cycle in your chamber, right? So I'm loading 9mm. I loaded a few rounds here. So when I run my ammunition, when I pull out a cartridge, I'll drop it in there and check it. My finger runs flush. It's not high. You can see everything looks good on it. It's just below that surface. So what that tells me is the case is good. That case will cycle in my 9mm pistol. Without jamming, without hanging up, any of that stuff, it'll function. It should function properly, if I loaded it right. It'll chamber in that pistol. So if you don't have one of these, you can get by. I got by for a while loading my 9mm without it. Every now and again I might have a hang up, a jam cartridge wouldn't cycle properly, holds a slide back. But since I've got it, I use this thing, and every cartridge I pull out of my press goes through this tool and then in the pile. If it doesn't fit this, or I see anything else wrong, primer not seated properly, anything like that, it comes out. You should inspect as you load anyway, just to stop any of that from happening. But what this will catch is something you might not catch with your eye. So I run the Lee collet press, 4 strokes, I get 1 shell, or 1 cartridge. So I run my cartridge through my press, I pull that one out, I drop it in there, I grab my next piece of brass, throw it in, go through the whole cycle, I dump this one out, throw the new one in, and go. Every round I load goes in this gauge. The reason is I can grab any one out of here because they've all been in this gauge, every one of them, right? These 2 here, I'm leaving out just simply, they're not bad, I don't think, but you can see it's a little bit even with that face, just a hair out. I can push it in there, but see it kind of hangs up, sticks in there a little bit. I think these will shoot fine. I think the weight of the slide and the spring tension will push that in and extract it, but I'm going to experiment, shoot these 2 by themselves with nothing else behind them. Sorry, nothing behind them in the magazine. Make sure they function. But what I really am glad I have this tool for, what it caught was, as I said, any of these I pull out, I drop it in there and it's fine. Right? Looks good. I made this one, I loaded this one up, and I drop it in there and boom, look at that. It won't come out. I pushed on it, you can work, it will not go. There's a problem. Something's wrong with that. I didn't know what it was, and by the naked eye, you might not catch it. Now this one on the right is a good cartridge. This one on the left is the one that won't fit. Now by looking at them, you can't see a difference. The one on the right might be a hair longer. It could just be the way the angle of the camera is, but they're not the same. So when I drop this one in and it's good, I'm happy. I dump it in the pile, go unload the next one, I drop it in and it does this. That makes me look. So what I noticed was, if you look at this cartridge, see down in the webbing, right there by the face, see that? See that line? That cartridge swells out right there, and you can even see it. If you look at the brass, where the bullet is seated, it's thick. From the bullet, it narrows down and then fattens back up right there. And that is the reason this won't chamber, or won't fit in that case gauge. Also, I think if I was to shoot that, it would jam my slide and my barrel on my pistol. So then I have to dig it out and extract it. So just another tool to be aware of that can prevent you a lot of trouble out on the range. And I would recommend, if you're shooting any semi-automatic weapon, be it rifle or pistol, they make these for rifle rounds and pistol rounds. And like I said, with these Lymans, you get an entire set of gauges in one tool. So just my take on one thing that will help you down the road, save you some headache and frustration at the range, digging crap out of your gun. Get you a case gauge and give it a shot, man. I think it'll serve you well. That's all I got this time. Be good.